my crafty friends, and welcome back to the Crochet Geeks YouTube channel. This week we're in for a very, very special treat. I have my friend Claudia here joining us today. Well, virtually, of course. But anyway, we're here for the second video of our Summer of Romance Cal series of videos. So we've already recorded one that you can check out on Claudia's account. Video is up. Link will also be in the description box below. And this is the second one. And then we started a tradition last summer, right, to kind of end with a live. So just to have a little like party, essentially.
Interaction with our, participants. I mean,
yeah.
It was a lot of fun. And actually, and by the way, hi everybody, it's Claudia from San Diego, where it's still cloudy. There's no sun. There's no spring. It's just cloudy, overcast every day.
It's been like that here in the Sunshine State for a week and some change. It looks bright in my room because I have the huge studio light on, and I turned on my fairy lights, and I opened the window, and I turned on all the possible lights.
Yeah, it's been like the sun sometimes pops in and out, and it's like, whoa! We all go out and enjoy it for the 2 minutes it's out, and then it's just really weird weather. But anyway, this theme for this year's Summer of Romance came out of that last live that we did. This was like, we started talking about it and we said, okay, done, that's going to be the theme. And as we were saying last time we met, Clarisa, I cannot believe it is now June and we are starting Summer of Romance again.
We are. I feel like I say this every time I get on camera, but really, I think we get so involved in like the day-to-day that we really don't realize all that's happened in that year. So sometimes we get really down because, this didn't go well, but it's one day. And if you like just write one thing that you did in that day, 365 days later, you realize all you did in a year, and it's like just amazing. So yeah, we're running the Summer Romance Cal again. It is sci-fi, and you guys can hear our discussion about that in the previous video because, as I said, and Claudia enlightened me, I did not really know what constituted sci-fi. And that is, I love that logo. I feel like we should find a really nice mug producer.
I started to look this week. Because I too really like the way this is. And I don't want to lose the detail of this little, circuit board and everything in our tagline, who do you love? I love everything about this logo. And it was actually one of the simplest logos to put together. It came together so quickly. I love it. But yeah, I'm definitely going to have stickers made. Definitely looking for something to put it into a mug. I, like you, love mugs, but I like different shapes of mugs,
Right?
I don't like that sort of like mass produced. I'll take it if that's what's out there, but it's not what I go to. That's why I love from pottery. That's why I love, my favorite kind of shape is like a rounded bowl shape, that's what
like a little soup bowl.
Yeah.
I agree with you entirely. It's the reason why I have yet to make, like, I've had my logo design and I ordered a variation of my logo. So in case you don't want like crochet cakes, which totally understand, it says happy crafting. I have not put it out there yet because I haven't found a mug that I like. And I have found people that sell the type of mugs that I'm after, but I'm too shy to like message them directly because I know a lot of people don't like sharing that information. Yeah. So I've been very hesitant to like message them and be like, hey, where do you source your mugs and things like that? Because people can be very
should. I think, what? I've had people reach out to me about pins and things like that, and I'm always happy to help. I think if you were to reach out to someone and they give you the, the cold shoulder about it, poo on them, because it's like I've actually asked people, hey, what kind of camera do you use to shoot your videos? And they've told me, they share information. I'm always open to that. So I think you should reach out because then I want the information too.
No, I completely understand, right? Community over competition. I think we all have so much to offer. And that is one of the reasons that Claudia first approached me for the Summer Romance Cal was not just about the romance genre, but about, the positivity behind coming together as a community to celebrate love. And it doesn't have to be in February. Hello. And also, we noticed that a lot of like romance novels have summer be the theme of the romance. So there's a little history behind that. But what we're going to talk about today, have you chosen a couple?
Yes, I have.
Show me. I'm so excited.
My couple is from Fringe.
Okay.
And
Right.
here's another picture I pulled up from the internet.
Okay, so you're definitely doing them together, right?
Yes, Olivia Dunham and Peter Bishop of Fringe, which I've been binge watching that show. It's so good. It's so good. But I will tell you that my inspiration is actually the colors of this picture.
All right, very moody. I like it.
All right. So what's yours?
So, okay, let's be completely open and honest here. I had prepared it all on my desktop, and we have to record on the iPad because my desktop just didn't want to listen to Claudia. It's like, no, I'm not turning that microphone on for her. No. So let me just do a quick googly here.
I know. You guys, you have no idea. We've spent like 30 minutes trying to get this all straightened out because technology was not our friend today.
No. And you're having Wi-Fi issues too.
In my house right now. There's no internet in my house right now. We're like internet-less right now.
How do we survive that this day and age? Aha!
There. Oh, I love that picture.
So I decided to go with Padme and Anakin, which was something that we talked about last week, specifically because I absolutely love this picture.
Yes.
And that dress that she is wearing just speaks to a part of me. And yeah, I have nothing else to say. So, well, I don't know if it was, honestly, at this point, I don't know if it was their romance that called to me or just their outfit choices. So I am celebrating the possibility of love between Anakin and Padme. And I chose them because
and her outfits.
And my love of Padme and her outfits. I think that's what I'm really celebrating this summer. It's just my love for Padme.
That picture again. So that's it's a peach color or like a pink, like a soft pink?
It's
flowers,
it's
right?
gold. It's like a gold dress, and it has a lot of embroidered purple flowers, and the skirt has a lot of embroidery, but also like rhinestones on it. And honestly, a part of me wanted to Rachel Maxey this and attempt to recreate an exact replica of this with my very limited sewing knowledge. And then I heard myself say that, and I said, no. Let Rachel Maxey be Rachel Maxey. I am not that maximist. So I think this is one of my favorite outfits from her, just because it looks so feminine, but at the same time so functional. So yeah, I just love this outfit.
I remember when that movie came out. No, that was not. No, that's the first one. When the first one came out, Vogue did a whole spread of all the outfits that she wore in that movie, and they're just so like they were pieces of art. I mean, they are beautiful outfits, and the costume design was amazing. I wish they would have put that much effort into the story, but that's debate for another time.
So I follow this girl on Instagram, and she always does Queen Amidala recreation. Like that's her cosplay. I don't know if she's part of the 501 First Legion, but I think she might be because her costumes are always on point. And for all of the non-geek speaking people out there, the 501 First Legion is like the official Star Wars cosplay legion. You have to audition to be part of it. But like you have to submit a piece. This is the outfit, and they look for perfection. And yeah, so whenever you see that somebody's part of the 501 First Legion, they worked really hard to get there.
Oh, I mean, you know, when you go to Comic-Con, which I don't want to brag, but I got tickets this year. After 14 years of trying to
get the San Diego Comic-Con,
go inside the convention center for the San Diego convention. Yeah. So the whole thing is like, you know, for 14 years, I wanted to go inside the convention center. We never get tickets. So we go there anyway, because the outside of the convention center is such a huge thing. You know, you can see all kinds of stuff. So you don't feel like you're missing out, but you are, because you can't go in, you can't go to any, you know,
panels or anything like that.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, exactly. So we finally got tickets this year, so we're going to go. And so you do see these amazing cosplays. You see the detail, you know, you just are in awe of how passionate people are about cosplay, how seriously they take it. It's wonderful. I love it. I absolutely love it. So in our house, the whole year, we're like, what are we going to do? What are we going to dress up as? You know, we have to dress up, right? Like, I want Star Trek, but no one wants to do Star Trek with me, right? My son wants Marvel. Okay, I'll do Marvel, but my daughter doesn't want to do Marvel. She wants to do DC. So it's like, we are in turmoil.
It's perfect. She can be DC, and then you guys can just have an epic battle right there, Marvel versus Capcom style.
I know. It's going to be pretty interesting. It's going to be a really interesting family picture, but yeah,
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
But getting it back to Summer Romance, I'm doing a one-scene project because my goal is to actually have a project. It's so nice last year to actually finish something. So I actually have a one-scene project in mind. So did you find a project?
I did, but like the Star Wars, it's going to be a saga. It is not a one-scene project. It is not. So I've already picked out the yarn. I already picked out the pattern, and I'm going to share it. Okay.
Yeah.
It's all living in a bag that matches Padme's outfit.
So good. That's perfect.
I'm telling you, I'm so excited. So
did you make that bag?
No, this was Sam of Betsy Makes, when she used to sell bags. My mom got it for me. She wanted us to have a matching type of bag, so hers has cat fabric on it, and she got this one for me. But I saw it in my project bag stash, and I'm like, this is perfect for Summer Romance because it matches the theme. And my yarn is this.
Nice.
So this is leftover, and it's actually called Endor Moon. I don't need to give explanations for that.
Better.
And this one is not a Star Wars related dye. In fact, I'm pretty sure, the dye are no longer dyes, so I got it in her clearance yarn sale. But as soon as I saw this with that dress, I absolutely knew that it had to go together, because the colors on that dress, so we've got the bit of gold and then kind of a peachy tone for all the embroidery, the green of the leaves that are embroidered in that dress, and we've got some darker patches of dark brown that go with Anakin's Jedi Knight Padawan. He wasn't a Jedi.
Yes. Yeah, I know.
I know I get started on the rabbit hole and I don't stop. So I think that's also one of the reasons I chose Star Wars. It's the one I'm most intimately familiar with. So I don't know. I thought, why not? So yeah, of course, Endor Moon to represent the future of Star Wars, and then this color that's just really looks like the picnic dress, which is what I call it. So those are my colors, and the patterns on Ravelry, I bought it from a Ukrainian crochet designer.
Okay, time to share my yarn. And I am working completely from stash, so I was very happy. This is from a company called Bruce's Revenge.
Oh.
And look at Bruce. That's a great tag. So here's my yarn, but I think it works really well.
Yeah, it's got that like doomy, gloomy sci-fi look. I really like it.
Look at that. Yeah, I think that this yarn is a perfect representation of this photograph.
No, it really is. You can see the yellows from like the clouds in the back. Oh, it's so good.
Dark. So yes, and so the name of this yarn is Hero of Canton, which I don't know what that means. It must be something, I don't know.
I think it's from a movie.
I don't know. I just like when I saw the yarn, I loved it. And when I saw my picture for Fringe, and I'm like, oh yeah, that would be perfect for it. So that's my yarn. And then the pattern that I found is for a cowl, and it's called the Lotus Cowl by Mahogany Turtle. This is her.
Oh.
And then this is the cowl.
Oh, that looks really nice. It kind of represents the trees in the picture too.
Yeah, and I love the how it looks. See that? Mm-hmm. But then she also, what I really liked about it is that she has a little button? Like a little button, yeah, like a little band with a button that holds it together.
That's so cute. That is really cute. That is a great detail.
Yes, and it's so simple. And the thing is, I have a cowl that I crocheted that's really long, but when I wear it, it's just really awkward. And I'm like, with that little band, it kind of shrunks it up, squishes it up, and then you can just wear it. And look at that.
And I imagine it works so well because it's got so much laciness to it that it would just scrunch up really. Oh, it's so cool.
So that's gonna be my pattern.
Oh, how exciting.
I'm really excited. And I found this bag that I thought was kind of fringy because
it is, because it looks like eyeballs.
Yeah, it looks like eyeballs and it looks like patterns. And in Fringe, you have a lot of like patterns that they show in between, like, when they would go to commercial breaks and stuff like that. They had all these like little symbols. So I thought that was kind of fringy looking. And it's a print by Jen Hewitt.
Oh.
She's the one that did the book, this fine thread, or what is it called? This, do I have it here? Yeah, This Long Thread.
Okay.
She's the writer of this book right here.
Yes, okay. I was gonna ask, it's the one with the 3 hands, right?
Yeah. She's a textile designer. And so she does all of these prints herself and then prints them up and then sews up the little bags.
It's beautiful. I just love it when, people can showcase their art in so many different ways for others to enjoy them. It just calls to me.
Absolutely. So yeah, so I'm ready to go.
Will you be able to wait until June 15th to start?
I will, because I'm actually working on a couple of other things. And plus I have no kitchen, as you well know, Clarisa. So I'm busy with that.
Is it going to be done anytime soon?
No, no. I mean, I probably won't have a kitchen until about September. Probably mid. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. But here's something really interesting. So I had my pipe burst in my kitchen, so it flooded my kitchen, and it's been gutted. So it's down to walls and floor, to the studs, basically. And this house was built in 1953. So when the contractor came in, he said, this wood on your floor is actually a really good wood because it's from trees that were hundreds of years old. He's like, the wood that we use to manufacture now isn't as strong or durable because it comes from trees that are kind of like forced to grow quickly. He's like, so you're standing on wood of trees that are probably hundreds of years old. And I'm like, oh, well, I can't believe we're going to lose that, because yeah, it's like it's we live in a different world, even with the construction materials that we have for our home. But yeah, it's like it's gonna be like probably mid-September before I see anything. Anyway, I'm just gonna crochet, people. I'm just gonna crochet. I'm gonna grab my yarn. I'm gonna go to the living room, and I'm just gonna sit my ass down and crochet until September. Peace out.
You're just gonna crochet a new kitchen.
Crochet a new kitchen. Yes, that's it.
Going back to the crochet, right? This is the pattern that I picked. It is called the Summer Vintage Top.
Oh,
and I picked it.
I
think it's beautiful, but I picked it because it's got the gauzy lace.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It can be like the sleeves or the skirt of it, but I also picked it because it's got a little bit, it's not really a corset, but that camisole type construction is meant to be a little bit fitted, which, the top of the dress was very corset-like. So I chose it for those reasons. And also because the pattern is beautiful. She includes charts. The pictures are very helpful because there's also pictures after every section. So you know where you're supposed to be and things like that. And like I said, she included charts, which charts are very hard to make. So I greatly appreciate that.
And, I actually prefer to work off of charts. I like to read I like to skim the written instructions. And if there's a chart, I'll just go straight to a chart because I just visually just take it in. I'm like, okay, I know what I'm doing. Yeah. But my issue is that sometimes I want to get to it and I just look at the chart and then I start and then I end up like with my last shawl, I didn't read the pattern thoroughly. So I'm 15 rows into this pattern going, why does this not look right? And I'm like, oh, because you didn't read the pattern. So it's like sometimes when we've been crocheting for a while, we think we know everything. Like, oh yeah, I get what she's trying to say. But I'll be honest with you, there isn't a pattern that I buy or I work from that I don't rewrite to the way my brain works.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
That's why I have to print it out. I'll make Excel charts. I'll rework a pattern. I'll sit down with it and rework it the way my brain processes crochet, and then I can crochet. So it's sort of like, to me, patterns are like recipes, and I'm just gonna tweak it the way I need to tweak it. And I lessen my frustration with designers in that way because I get it. It's exactly what you're saying. Everyone writes a pattern differently, and everybody processes patterns differently. And so I don't like to blame designers when it's like, oh, this isn't clear, because it was clear to them, obviously,
Yeah. All our brains work differently, right? So I feel that there is no way to design a universal pattern. Just like I always tell people that when I design garments is based on the guidance council, and that doesn't represent every body shape. So I think people should be confident, should feel free to just adjust things to fit their bodies, because I always have to do that. And I've had some people ask me like, "What? But you're so skinny. Why would you have to alter?" It's like, well, listen, my boobs are small, my belly's bigger, and my hips are wider. So there is that's not universal.
No, it's not. And I think that's sort of like where sometimes we get stuck as crocheters thinking, well, the designer said to do X and I'm doing X and it doesn't work. Well, okay, because maybe like you're saying, you have different a different body, but nothing's keeping you from going up a hook size or going up a size in the pattern or going down a pattern. I just think that sometimes we get wrapped up in trying to get it done so we can move on instead of, I've done and we've done a pattern 3 or 4 times until I got it to where I wanted it. I frogged it, started. I'm doing that right now with a pattern. I've frogged it 3 times and I'm restarting it because it's just not feeling right. And that's where the process of enjoying the process is more for me than, having, okay, it's done and here it is, but that's for me. And I don't think there's any right or wrong way of crocheting.
No, I agree.
What's your yarn made out of? Is it like
it's wool.
Yarn? It's wool. Oh, okay.
It's wool. So it's just sock yarn, 75-25, wool, nylon, both of them actually. So these two. This other one though is cotton acrylic, but I like mixing my fibers quite a bit.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I went to Forever 21 with my daughter. Let's just start with that, okay? And I'm walking through the aisles of the store. And this is not a judgment, so don't at me, people. This is just an observation. I was shocked at how much crochet tops were selling for $17. Full-on crochet garments for $17. And I said to my daughter, I held it up and I said, you realize that human hands made this, and the people that are crocheting these tops, you couldn't pay them $17 for this. They're getting like pennies to make this stuff. And it breaks my heart. Then you go, we went to Macy's, and you go to Macy's and you see, that brand, the sack.
Yeah.
Okay. So then they're selling a small crochet purse. It was like $75. And it's like, again, nothing to do with summer romance, people. Just an observation, of, how we value, this work that we do, how we value our craft, how others are valuing what we do.
Yeah, no, when it comes to fast fashion, just the idea behind it was that everybody could afford clothes. It's a great idea. The execution behind it, very lacking in terms of all the things that come along with the fast fashion industry, like how clothes don't really last that long. It's like my crochet shirts are 5 years. This one particularly, I toss in the washing machine quite often, and it's still good after 5 years.
Yeah.
So can't say the same for some of the other clothes that I've bought, but that is a whole other dilemma.
Yes,
that has nothing to do with.
I know, but part of why I like talking to you, Clarisa, because we go on these little tangents, and I like to explore those tangents with you. I do have a question for you. Did you get to watch Blade Runner?
No, I have actually watched zero. Like, I haven't watched Queen Charlotte. I haven't watched Blade Runner. I actually made a list of sci-fi movies that I wanted to rewatch just to get in touch with the summer romance and everything. I've done none of that.
Well, you know what? Don't push yourself. Baby steps, right?
I'm excited to get into like the sci-fi mood because it honestly is a genre of romance that I haven't really explored.
If you want to talk about the roots of sci-fi movies, you have to watch them when we call Metropolis.
Okay.
Metropolis is a silent movie, actually. It's probably the movie that has influenced all sci-fi movies. It is a black and white movie, and the imagery, and it's actually a love story. So you could probably find that on YouTube and watch it. It's absolutely brilliant. It's a brilliant movie.
Guys, you should take notes. Oh, the other thing that I wanted to mention, now that you bring that up about movies and getting more into like the sci-fi stuff, I went to Goodreads and I typed in sci-fi romances. the steaminess that came up.
We're talking about that, yes.
It was, I can't explain it, but reading some of the titles and then looking at the graphics that they included in like the first, like the cover of the book, it was great. So sit down with a cup of wine, with a glass of tea, with a cocktail, just literally go to Goodreads and type sci-fi romances, and you're gonna have a blast.
So Metropolis is 1927.
Wow.
Yes. And it is an amazing, amazing movie.
I'm Googling it. Sorry, I got distracted now too. Goodreads. I did exactly what I was suggesting that you do after talking to Claudia. I just grabbed a glass of wine and I sat down and I'm reading through all these covers with the titles and I'm like, which one should I start with? They're all so steamy. So I actually settled on it's An Accidental Goddess. That is the title. It is sci-fi. But there's also a fantasy element to it, I guess, or a religious element because they confuse her with a goddess. Like, I haven't started reading it. But it's on my list. And like I was telling Claudia before we started recording, I also added to my list The Iron Widow, which is a sci-fi romance that I haven't read, but it was New York bestseller, like I was telling Claudia, and it sounds very interesting. And I read somebody's comment of how could you gut me like that, and I'm already scared. Like I don't know what's going to happen here, but I'm already scared.
And I was telling Clarissa, I don't actually read physical books. I just don't have the time. So when I read, I listen, right? So all my books are on Audible. But I will tell you this: if I like the book enough, I will go buy a copy of the book because I have it here. Look at. So I'm reading this trilogy.
Ooh.
And this is fantasy. Look at this.
That is huge.
Okay. But what it has that you don't get when you hear an Audible, through Audible, is you don't get like the imagery. And
that's true.
To the artist and the maps and things like that. So I went ahead and bought it because as you're listening to the book and they're talking about things, I'm like, well, it's beautiful. It's beautiful stuff. Look.
No, that's really detailed. Yeah. That's really good.
Yeah, one of the characters is an artist. And so she's constantly sketching in her notebook and they tell you about these things. And I'm like, I wanted to see it. And so I went ahead and, purchased a book and, I'm on book 3 of this series, which is amazing. It's just an amazing series.
That's just the third book?
No, this is the first book.
Just the first book. Oh, I thought the 3 books were in there.
Oh no, this is book 1.
Oh, that's intimidating.
This is fantasy, right? It's you've heard of the Wheel of Time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the Wheel of Time, the author passed away, and then Brandon Sanderson actually finished the Wheel of Time. And
is that also a series on Amazon?
Yeah, on Prime, yeah. And then he's got a whole universe that he's created with different books that he's written, and this series lives in that universe. And so he is a prolific is an understatement, because on Audible, his last book is like 57 hours. I know. I see, that's the kind of stuff that excites me. When I see something like that, I'm like, oh yeah, I got to get into that. So I love a long Audible book because I know it will sustain me for a while.
I'm scared.
Yeah. No, I do. I'm on the last book of this series.
I don't think I'm starting a book club with you. I'd be scared.
I also belong to a book club called Women Who Read and Write Science Fiction, and we only do a book a quarter. And so the last book was I Keep My Exoskeletons, and it's in an LGBTQ written story Wonderful story. It's like a mother-daughter story. It's a really, really good book. But yeah, so I love science fiction. Like I love, there isn't enough time to read science fiction and fantasy books for me. When you throw the romance into it, it just takes it to a different level for me. I love it.
I mean, I can get behind that. I've been devouring. I went back to Teenage Clarisa that devoured romance novels, specifically fantasy and historical romances. Those are my favorite. And if it doesn't have a happy ending guaranteed, I won't read it. I'm like, nope, I'm not wasting my emotional time on this book.
Oh, you know what? Funny that you say that, because I binged Handmaid's Tale, and I literally had the Wikipedia up with each episode, and I would read the episode, and then I'm like, okay, I'm good. And then I get, okay, I'm good. And that was like back and forth. Yeah. No, I totally do that. I do that.
I do that too. Like when my husband and I start a new anime, I'm like Googling it, reading the manga. I'm like, okay, I'm prepared to watch the episode now.
Yes, you have to, right? You have to.
Also, guys, let us know. Have you chosen a couple already? Are you ready to kick off the 6th summer of romance? 7th? 6th?
I think it's 6. I think it's
6. 6 sounds like a good number. Yeah, let's call it 6.
6. And then the dates are June 11th through August 13th.
Yes, that is the dates of the summer romance cow. So you have plenty of time if you actually want to finish an item. If you just want to take it slow and maybe read the book as you crochet, as you watch the movie of the book, do so. Take your time, enjoy it.
And if you guys have favorite sci-fi movies that you want to recommend, put them down below. Excuse me. Yeah, so then if you join us for our live that we're gonna do, then we can talk about those movies. Don't forget the hashtag is
Hashtag SRCal2023, and that will be, of course, included in the description box below with all this information. But thank you so much for joining us today. That is it from us to you. We hope that you enjoyed your crafty, chatty time with us today, and do let us know anything and everything about your sci-fi romance preferences in the comments section below. But yeah, thank you so much for being here, guys. Bye.